Honestly, that's the best thing is just in the general sense, just having a fight lined up is huge. The bonus of the title is great, but you know, I pretty much expected a title fight to happen my next one. There was always, you know, weird times when you didn't necessarily know exactly what was going to happen, but I knew the next one would be a title shot, didn't know who, so just the fact to have a fight, it's great. You know, I haven't fought since June, obviously been training, and it's hard when you know a big fight is in your future and you have to wait for it. So, but I think a lot has to do with Cejudo and the injury, but a lot also just has to do with the whole double champ thing. Something always happens, some kind of hold up or something with that. So, you know, I felt it firsthand, but I'm glad we got it squared away and going for the title now. Honestly, not at all. I mean, look, everyone knows Cejudo, and that's the only thing that's better about him. I've never fought Figueiredo. I beat Cejudo. So that is a bonus in itself. It's another person to be known in this division. I mean, everyone knows Cejudo. He's Triple C. You know what I mean? And I also have a win over him. So, you know, it's easy to move on from him not wanting to put up a fight. That's kind of how I look at it. It was really, you know, the ball was in his court to put up a fight or not. You know, play a game 2 or not. And he just said, you know what, I'm not going to. So it's not like somebody else that has a win over me and I never get to fight him again. So he made the choice himself, but, you know, you never know. And I like that it's new blood in the division. I think that's what we really need.
So how do you think Davis and Figueiredo compares with some of the players you've watched, some of the better players?
Yeah, he's different. I mean, I look at him, he's hard to prepare for. He's hard to really compare to anybody. He has such a strange athletic ability. You know, he almost seems like he has the strength of bigger guys, so I try to go with them a little more. But he has an awkwardness that is also like somewhat technical. So it's actually a great, interesting challenge, I think. And I've always liked him since I saw him. I'm a fan of the division, and when I see like scary flyweights that are going out there and finishing people, and for the most sense, like, you know, look like badasses, like he does. I was drawn to that, and I liked it for the division. So I've had my eye on him for a while. I obviously think I present, you know, a challenge everywhere, even in his best disciplines. So yeah, it's exciting, but he's hard to honestly compare to anybody else at the same time.
You fought better fighters, I think.
Yes.
This will be.
Yeah, I mean, I fought the one guy that beat him. I've beat him twice. But as you see in this sport, that like MMA math kind of like roundabout, that it doesn't really matter. All that matters is exactly what happens that night at that time. Like, I'm a huge believer in that. Like, you have to prepare every day to give yourself a chance, but that only gives you a chance. Every day gives you a bit of more of a chance. And like, every fight could go different if the fight was 5 minutes later. You know, if I walked out 5 minutes later or something. So it's all about preparing yourself for that moment. But it's just, yeah, I fought better fighters and I beat better fighters, but it's like I still have to beat him, and that's what it comes down to.
Last question for me.
Of course.
From Uriah Faber on this fight?
No, just, you know, actually, funny enough, I just sat with him for the Andre fight, which I thought Andre won the fight, first and third round. I'll just put that on record. Andre Feely, I thought won that fight. But no, I was just sitting with Faber though, and he just said, "Dude, so excited for you," and more just positive reinforcement, which that's great. That's how we thrive, you know. So it was good. Oh yeah, I did. Yeah.
As of now, with this vacant title on the line, like, how much do you feel it's still important for you to make that kind of statement that keeps the UFC flyweight division going strong?
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, I always felt that pressure because it's funny to think of, and I don't think about it that much because it's stuff I like block out of my mind. But like, I did this when the flyweight division was starting, the very first title fight, and it's very similar to this one, and I'm still in it, like past like 3 generations of title contenders, right, including me, and I'm still there, and it feels very similar. Whereas like the first one, you know, like you're supposed to represent it, you're supposed to win, and then it's supposed to have this, you know, so it feels very similar. So as far as the pressure part of it, it's not that different because I felt that the whole time. The division is new and has always been new, so you're always still fighting with a little bit of not only the pressure you put on yourself, but a pressure if you start a division and care about it, with the pressure to kind of like represent it. So to me, I like it because it's just a bigger, fight to represent it. I used to be able to represent it here on this card. So doing it in a title fight on ESPN is just is a nice time.
Joseph, people don't talk about it a lot, but you've been, at the top since the days of the WEC at 135, years ago. Here you're still at the top, you're fighting for the title. What's been the secret for yourself for your longevity to be at the top?
Oh, I love you asked that. Honestly, a lot of luck, I would say. Because I think everything's luck. Like just the fact that one person can do this and another person can do that, like it's easy to say, oh, well, I was able to do this or do that, or I worked hard, but that's not a recipe. Like you're just lucky along the way. But to answer the question, my main source of longevity, I think for me, is gratitude, because I honestly feel lucky every day, like to do this. Like I was excited to like film everybody and like going in to work out. I have a positive, I think I just feel lucky every day, like, and I try to just remember that every day. My wife helps me a lot on a personal level. Like we get to wake up every morning and hang out. So I leave kind of with gratitude that like, oh, I got to wake up like next to my wife and my dog and have a good morning. Now I'm like leaving my house in like a nice car. And then on top of that, I go to like the UFC Performance Institute. So, a lot of people think fighting's a hard job and the physical part of it is hard, but they're like rise and grind. It's like you literally go in and like you like check in with your fingerprint and get a smoothie. You can go sit in the sauna. A guy has like a workout for you on like an iPad. So at the end of the day, you just are like, wow, I'm so lucky to do this. And when you feel lucky for something, you really want to hold on to it. So in fighting, it obviously takes inspiration. And you need that inspiration every day. Sometimes you lose it if it's just like, I had a bad childhood. Like you can't be motivated by that for so long. Or my dad was an asshole. Like you can't be motivated by that long. But for me, I kind of find like a new motivation with the gratitude kind of every day. And even in my fight, when I walk out, I kind of just look and I'm like, this is cool. And I like feel lucky. So you're more likely, I think, to want to hang on to something and try a little harder when you just, feel like something, like you're lucky doing something. So honestly, like the gratitude I feel every day helps me. Obviously preparation is preparation, but through feeling lucky that I get to roll, I try my hardest every day. I try my hardest for a 5-minute round, the next 5-minute round. I don't want to lose any position because I want to hang on to that, So that's it, I think, as far as longevity.
Joe, you spoke about Mayweather. What did you make of Askarov? Because a lot of people are very excited about him from Russia and Europe in general.
Yeah, he looked very good. Same thing. I just love the new blood. Like I said, it's cool that was in the first title fight and now I'm in like the 15th title fight also years later. But the people along the way are what makes the future interesting. Askarov in general, who beat since that's your question, who beat a title contender in Tim, that shows him. But if you look at his last fight, he also had a draw, which with Brandon Moreno, who is another great, new blood in the division. And I think Brandon won that fight, and a lot of people like him as well. So just in general, you can look, at the future still. And I think that's what's cool. Like, obviously I have a fight in front of me, and it's cool to see, like, I'm still for a title fight. But then to see other people representing the division with great, exciting fights still, and going through people who, have already maybe gone for a title or something, it's exciting for, I think, fans to watch, because people know Tim, some other people that have gone through title fights in division. So it's good for the division. Obviously, Tim's my buddy. I was cheering for him the whole time. But it's just good to have, new blood.